You got nothing to say?
I think we already said it. So.
Oh, you're done? All right. We'll get started here. First, excited to actually get started. I think we've had a lot of talk, and it's about that time to get going. Guys report today. First practice is tomorrow. We're looking forward to that. Summer was good, so appreciate Coach Pittman, Lee Marks, Brandon Pringle. Thought those guys did a very good job with our summer program. I also thought the new rule of allowing the coaches to go out there and be a part of the training in the summertime and having a chance to meet with these guys, especially as a new staff, was very beneficial for us. It's interesting because not everybody in the country probably utilized the time maybe the way we did, and maybe 3-4 years down the road you don't use it as much when you've been with the team for some time, because we do like to allow our players to have that be their time and to also grow as a team and let those leaders get out there and really establish themselves and teach the younger guys during the summer. But for the situation we're in right now was very good. We do have an open scrimmage, which will be August 15th. That'll be our second scrimmage. The first one is closed. So we'll have a better feel, obviously, for our team at that time. And we'll go through our whole pregame routine and make sure everybody's on the same page. But that'll be good to have our fans out there to see these guys and get them used to playing in front of people again. And at that time, we should have just about everything in. School starts a little bit later this year. It actually starts on the 25th. So we'll have a week prior to when school starts. We'll almost treat it like a normal week for us. That's like school would begin. So we'll have our practice times, meetings will start at 1:30. Practice is about 2:50 on the field. So we'll be in the afternoons during the season on practice. Joey Moderano, I know you guys had some questions on that. He still will play linebacker. He'll also play some fullback for us, so we'll be utilizing him that way. To what degree, I don't know yet. We're still kind of working through that, but good to have him back. He's been with us now for about 10 days of getting back here and working out. So he worked out while he was in Arizona and playing baseball. So he's ready to rock and roll. But he's going to have to get himself back into the football part of things just a little bit from some of the PRPs that he missed this summer. Kyle Sosnowski, if you guys don't know, he is a medical redshirt. We'll finish up this semester academically. August 16th is our Optimist Day. Excited about that. Really looking forward to getting those young guys out on the field and having our players participate with them. And I think that's a huge part of our success is that program. And so we're looking forward to that day as well. Last thing, tomorrow will be the first time we get to be in the new facility, the Chevrolet Field out there. So I do want to thank the Chevrolet family. We're just getting it lined up today. It looks great. It's going to be very good for us to be able to utilize that facility on campus, to be able to go back and forth, from the grass there. We got plenty of space to do what we need to do. So to have that, the indoor, the stadium, all right here, it's going to be easy for us to bounce back and forth. And I think that's going to be very beneficial for us. So at this point now, guys they're here, they're back, they're ready. We let the veterans go last Friday, told them to go home, see their families, tell their girlfriends they'll see them in January. It's time to get to work. The young guys will actually finish up this morning with one of their classes. So they've been here for 26 days and been grinded and working. So we're excited to get those guys out there as well and see what they can do. With that, we'll open it for questions.
Roster-wise, are all the recruits in? And Jabril Frazier wasn't here this summer, so everybody good to go going into the season?
Jabril is not here right now. Will not be here through fall camp, but will be here when school starts. Everybody else is here. Everybody's here, good to go. All the new guys and everybody that was on the roster that you guys already know about. Some that are not on the roster right now, but everybody else is here.
Anybody out injury-wise, discipline-wise, any of that stuff?
Nope. No discipline issues going into camp, and no injuries going into camp. So all the guys that were banged up are going to participate in camp. I don't think there's a couple guys that are limited. Maybe when we get to 2-a-day practices and all that, some of the older guys that have been doing this for a while, we'll always look at that as we get into camp. But right now, everybody's full go.
Are there any local walk-ons you can talk about, or do you have to wait till school starts?
Yeah, I think we have to actually wait until we get into practice and all that. But we've got several guys, several walk-ons right now, really good, that we're really excited about, that'll be here. And so we'll talk about those guys once we actually get into camp and get started.
How about you just on the eve of your first fall camp? Do you still get nervous or jitters at all from having first here at Boise State?
Yeah, every year it doesn't matter, where you are, or how long you've been doing it. I mean, it's the beginning of something. You don't know what that is exactly. So, I think more excited than nervous. I know how it's going to go. That's not. You start getting a little bit more nervous as games come up because you start to play opponents. We know how it's going to go in fall camp. We're just excited, and I think as a staff, we're all looking forward to seeing how this summer program and what these guys have done, what they've learned since we've been here, how it's all going to translate. And we've been out there enough to have a pretty good idea of where we think we are, so we're excited about that. We just want to get to work, and I think what we all look forward to is seeing some of these young guys as well. Whether they're going to contribute right now or not, we don't know that. We're going to anticipate they're all going to contribute, and then at some point we'll make a decision on whether they are or not.
What are kind of your objectives, especially early on in camp?
Well, I think it goes to the same thing back in fall camp. I mean, every unit's got their objective. For us, I mean, it's going to be obviously building our team chemistry, number one, overall. We have a way of doing things here, and, that's part of our culture. But I do think our culture and our chemistry, that's going to be shown there in that first couple weeks, and probably sooner than that, where guys are. And you've got a good feel because summer, they're around each other. I mean, you have a pretty good feel. But when you start getting the pads on and you start getting more demands from the coaches and we start pressing more, that's going to tell more about us. So I want to see our team come out there. I want to see a team that's disciplined, a team that's playing tough, a team that believes in what we're doing. And then as we get through that first scrimmage, we really start to focus on, all right, refining our skills and detailing the schemes and all that, and really start preparing ourselves for the season.
The defensive line here has produced so many NFL caliber players, and when Boise State was at its pinnacle, you guys were able to rotate so many guys. How much of a concern is that unit going into camp and finding enough guys to play the way you want to play?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's a big emphasis for us is going to be that rotation, what it's going to be. You can't play with 4 guys the entire time. You're going to have to you'd like to find 4 more that you can 2-platoon that. So, Coach Call, we've talked about this. I mean, we have the guys, and if you're talking numbers, we've got to get the type of play out of them that we need. So that's going to be still a developmental process as we get into it. It's going to be a rotation, kind of like the O-line a little bit. You got to move guys around and see where they fit. One guy might play in, he might play inside, and different things. That's what camp's about. And, if we get into that second scrimmage, we'll solidify, where we are, what our rotation is going to start to look like before we get into that first game. But you're right, absolutely. D-line is a huge emphasis. It always has been. We've had good players in the past. These guys have seen those guys. I think from what I've seen this summer, they're developing as far as physically to be able to go out there and do what you need them to do. Now it's a matter of going out there and doing it.
We've had a chance to kind of look at the fall practice schedule a little bit, but I know in the past you kind of split up players or split up the team. Looks like everybody's going to be practicing together for the most part this year.
Yeah, the thought behind that, when you split them up, I think the teaching part of it, I think that is really good because you can really emphasize, the 2 groups. Where it gets you a little bit, sometimes in a position group, you may only have, 2 guys going in one session. Now you got a 5-minute individual and you've got 25 minutes of it. You can burn guys out and you're standing there. And we've all been there before. We got maybe 2 tight ends, for example, and they just, there he goes. You got the right case on there to protect it. But you don't want to, I've always thought, in those situations,